Hi everyone, welcome to Rodha. In today's video, I'll be discussing this wonderful set here. And before I get into the solution, I would want you guys to pause this video, take good 20 minutes to solve this set, right? And also spare extra 1 minute to let me know in the comment section below that what was your attempts and how much was your accuracy, how many correct out of the given set of 5 questions. Why I want you to do these exercises, because this is a typical CAT level set where you might feel that you're doing everything correct, right? And then later you realize, okay, this is a silly mistake that I make. So a lot of chances of making silly mistakes in this set, right? So this is a typical very tempting set of a CAT level where you would want to attempt and you feel, okay, I've got all 5 on 5 correct, but that is not happening, right? That is actually not happening. You realize later that you got only 3 correct or 2 correct, right? So please pause the video, attempt, and then look at the solutions and let me know in the comment section below. Alright. Before I get into the solution of this particular set here, let me just show you the set of 5 questions which are here. Kindly take a screenshot of these questions and try to solve them and then have a look at the video solution. Alright, let's get started with the solution here. So it says here, after the debacle of the World Cup, the Indian cricket selection panel decided that the only criteria for selecting young batsmen to play at the international level will be their average in the one-day matches that they have played at the national level. Alright, so on the basis of the average at the national level, your selection criteria will be done. I mean, you will be selected or not depends on your one-day matches performance at the national level, right? Now, the average of any player is total runs scored by the player upon number of times the player was out. Okay, so the average of any player is total runs by the player upon number of times that player was out, right? Now, at present, the selection panel was considering a young opening batsman who had played a total of 25 one-day matches. So this fellow, whoever is into consideration, has played 25 matches at the national level, but had not played even one match at the international level. Alright, perfect. At the national level, the player had batted and got out in each of the 25 matches he has played. So if I'm trying to find his average across all the 25 matches, I'm going to divide by 25. Why? Because this denominator here says that number of times that the player was out, and the statement tells me that he got out in each of the 25 matches he has played. Alright, perfect. It was also known that his score in no 2 matches was the same. So all the matches, the scores are distinct, right? Further, the sum of his top 5 scores was 337. Okay, so whatever his top 5 scores, his sum is 337. All the questions that follow are based only on the scores of the above mentioned batsmen in 25 national level matches that he has played. So all the questions are only as per this player, the young opening batsman, in the 25 national level matches that he has played. Alright. These are the questions here which you have already taken a screenshot. So we'll tackle them one by one. Each of the question we'll go one by one because there's no general solution to this set. We have to go question by question here. So let's move forward. The very first question tells me if the sum of his lowest 5 scores was 121. Alright. So this table that I have made here is, let's say, for top 5 scores. Or let me just take a beautiful assumption here which will make my life easy to explain. So let's say match 1 score is the highest. Match 2 the score is second highest, match 3 the score is third highest, and so on and so forth up to match 25 is the least score that he has made, right? And I can assume anything because any of the 5 matches he'll be making the top 5 scores, right? So let's say these are match 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Why to complicate my explanation here? So I'm assuming that match 1 to match 5 he has the top 5 scores, right? And match, I can say 25 up to 25, these are the bottom 5 scores. Let's say match 24, match 23, match 22 and match 21. The lowest 5 are these, right? Now as per the question, his lowest 5 scores are 121. So the sum of these values is basically given to me as 121 here, right? Now the sum of these values is given to me as 337. The sum of his top 5 scores was 337. So this value is 337, right? I have no clue about the scores of matches from 6 to 20, right? From 6 to 20, match number 6 to match number 20, I have no clue, right? But one thing for sure that I know here is that the scores that because I know that all the scores are distinct. So I've arranged them in ascending order, let's say. So largest is M1, descending order, let's say, in this fashion, and largest score is in match M1. Match 2 has the second highest score and the lowest is 25. So I'll say that from 6 to 20, From 6 to 20, the scores are definitely distinct and they're decreasing, right? They should be decreasing. They should be lesser than the match 5 score of match 6. The match 7 score should be lesser than match 6 score, and so on and so forth, right? So this is what I make from this particular set here till now, right? Now, I can say I want to maximize his average, right? Now, because I want to maximize his average, so can I say the scores from match 6 to match 20 should be maximum in that case, right? Because I'm trying to maximize his average. So the scores from match 6 to match 20 should also be as high as possible, right? Now, if I want it to be as high as possible, so we know that the top 5 matches, the score is 337. So what is the average score in the top 5 matches? Let's see. So 337 by 5. The average score comes out to be nothing but I can say 5 6 is 30, 37, 5 7 is 35, 2 20, 67.4, right? So 67.4 is the average score in the top 5 matches, right? I'll explain why am I doing this average. You'll just understand in a while. Give me 2 minutes, right? So if I take 2 numbers lesser than the average, okay, and 2 numbers greater than the average, right? So 65, 66, 67, 68 and 69. Now if I add all these values, how much will I get? Let's see. So 65 is 300, 9 plus 8 is 17, 17 plus 7 is 24, 24 plus 6 is 30, 30 plus 5 is 35. So I'm getting basically 335, right? But I want my total to be 337. So because I want my total to be 337, so can I say this case is not acceptable, right? This case is definitely not acceptable. So I need to make some adjustments here to make it 337. So what I can do, I can make this 69. I can make this 69 as nothing but can I say 71 here, right? I can make this 69, 71 and this total will become 337. Why? Because it was only 2 less than 337. So I increased 69 by 2. Or what I could have done is I could have increased 67, 68 by 1, that is 67, and then 69 and make this as 70, right? So I could have increased 68 by 1 and 69 by 1 as well, right? So in that case also 337 can be achieved, right? But is there any other case possible? No. Now understand one thing here, that suppose I take this case, right? Suppose if I take this case, let's say I'll take the first case. 71 is, let's say, his highest score. Second highest is 68. Third highest is 67. Then we have a 66 and then we have a 65, right? Now if I take these scores, or if I'm taking the second possible case, that is highest is 70, then we have 69, then we have 67, then we have 66, and then we have a 65. Right? Now in both these cases, whether the yellow case or the green case, can I say the match 6 score, the highest possibility for match 6 score is, can I say 64 in both the cases, because it has to be distinct and it has to be lesser than the match 5 score, because I have assumed that the highest score is in match 1, second highest in match 2 and so on and so forth, right? So can I say 64 is the highest possible value of match 6 score? Then match 7, if this is match 6, so can I say match 7 should be nothing but 63 here, right? 63 here, and so on and so forth. So after 5 up to 20 there are 15 matches. So can I say this score will go up to 50, right? This score should go up to 50, isn't it? 64, because see, from 20 to 66, match 6 to match 20, how many matches are there? Can I say exactly 15 matches are there, right? So I need 15 scores, and if you see 64 minus 50, there are how many numbers from 50 to 64? There are exactly 15 numbers. So this will go up to 50, isn't it? Now suppose, let's say for example, if I make my highest score as, let's say 80, okay, let's say if this is 80, so I have increased this by 10, so I need to subtract 10 from somewhere, right? Let's say I'll make this as 67, I'll make this as 65, I'll make this as 64, and I'll make this as, let's say, 61 for example, okay? So now can I say I have reduced 10, isn't it? This is a 2 reduction, 2 here, 6, and 4 here, reduce here, 10. Now, the moment these numbers become distant from each other, right? The moment these numbers become distant from each other, they are already distant, but I'm saying distant from each other, that is far off. जैसे जैसे इनमें gap बढ़ता जा रहा है, right? If I explain it to you in Hindi, जैसे जैसे इनमें gap बढ़ता रहा है, the more they are distant from each other, can I say this value now, mass 6, the maximum possible value is 60. So can I say the mass 6 maximum possible value will go down, isn't it? So this is a very important concept here, that if you want to maximize this value, if you want to maximize the score of match 6 here, then you should try to put these numbers as close as possible, right? As closer to the average as possible, so that you can have the largest possible value here, right? The moment I deviate one towards one extreme, then this will gonna go down, this number will go down. And because you want the utmost value of the average, so you would want that all the scores are as high as possible, right? So that is why I can take these two cases, and this such a case is never possible, right? So we have seen that there are two possible cases, and I'll rule out this particular case. So this was just for your explanation here, right? Now, so if I want the maximum average, so we know that the top 5 scores are 337, so I'll say 337 here, right? Plus the matches in middle, the 15 matches, what are the scores here? Can I say it starts from 64 plus 63 up to 50, right? And the bottom 5 matches, the lowest 5 scores are 121, and to find the average we need to divide by 25 here, right? So we need to divide this by 25. And you guys can make use of the calculator here. You can take help of because there's an on-screen calculator here, right, in the CAD. But when you solve this, you'll get your average as 52.52. So that will be your required answer. So I'm not doing the calculation part. I'm not wasting time in there, right? So when you solve this with the help of a calc, your average will come out to be 52.52. Now, if you want me to help you solve this part here, the one in middle, how to solve this? So let me just take a minute from here. So let me just take a fresh page. So 64 plus 63 up to 50, right? So the very first thing is, can I say this is a sum of AP, right? This is a sum of AP. Why? Because every consecutive term, between any two terms, there's a gap of 1, right? The common difference is of, can I say -1, right? The terms are increasing with a gap of -1, right? So what is the sum of AP? Sum of AP is nothing but n by 2. And I don't need the common term also here. First term plus last term, we can use this formula, right? So n by 2 into first term plus last term. So here, first term is 64, right? And last term is 50. Isn't it? And the number of terms. Now, a lot of people make a mistake here that they do 64 minus 50. Okay, so there are 14 terms. But that is not the case. There are not 14 terms here, okay? Please don't make this mistake. This is wrong, right? Why? Let's understand. 1 to 64. 1 to 64, how many terms are there? Can I say exactly 64 terms are there? Now you're saying from 50 to 64, right? Now you're saying from 50 to 64. So basically you're removing the first 49 numbers, right? You're removing the first 49 numbers. So can I say the number of terms will be nothing but 64 minus 49? And what is 64 minus 49? Can I say 15, right? And this 64 minus 49 can be written as 64 minus 50 plus 1. Can I write it like this? Yes, I can write this 49 like this, right? Minus 50 plus 1. And this is what you call it as, the difference between whenever your counting starts from somewhere in middle. So the number of terms is always last term minus first term plus 1. Whenever your counting starts from somewhere in between, so the number of terms is always last term minus first term plus 1. So these are 15 terms here. So I'll say 15 by 2. And if you solve this, you'll get nothing but I can say 60 plus 50 is 110 and 114. So 15 into 114 by 2. So that will give you nothing but I can say 15 into 2 5 is 10 and 1 and 57 and 15 into 7. 15 7 is 105, 10 carry, 15 5 is 75 and 10 85. I hope I've got this correct. 15 7 is 15 6 is 90, 15 7 is 105, yes, 10 carry, 15 5 is, yes, perfectly alright. So this value is coming out to be 855. And now you can just add them and divide it by 25. So your average will come out to be 52.52. Alright. Let's move ahead to the next one. Question number 2. Given that his lowest scores added up to 121 and his average was more than 40. Now, okay. And the number of matches in which he has scored less than 40 was at most. Now, the maximum number of matches where he has scored less than 40. Alright, let's see. So, given his lowest is 5 scores added up to 121. Now, the lowest 5 scores have added up to 121. So, what is the average score in the lowest 5 matches? Can I say? I can say here, lowest 5 score, the average score will be 121 by 5. Now, what is 121 by 5? Can I say 5 2 is 10 and 21 and 5 4 is 20 and 110. So, 24 point something, right? Average is 24 point something. Let's make a case around 24. Let's make a case around 24 here. So, 24, 22, 23, 25 and 26, right? Now what is the sum of all these 5 numbers? Let's see here. So 20 plus 20 is 40, 40 plus 20 is 60, plus 20 80, plus 20 100, right? So 25 is basically 100. Then we have a 6 here, 6 5 11, 11 4 15, 15 3 18 and 2 20. So we have I can say a 20, right? So this is 120 basically. So to make it 121, can I say I'll make it as 22, 23, 24, 25 and 27, right? I'll make it a 27. Why? Because the question tells me here that the number of matches in which he scored less than 40 was at most. So I'm trying to maximize the number of matches in which he's scoring less than 40. Alright. So if I'm trying to maximize the number of matches in which he's scoring less than 40, so let's see. Because I cannot reduce the value. I cannot make this 20 to 21. This sum is 120. I have to increase it, right? So I have to increase some value by 1. So this will be 26 increased by 1. Why? Because if I increase 25 by 1, then these two scores will become same, isn't it? But in all the 25 matches, he has scored a distinct score, right? In no two matches, he has scored the same runs, right? So that is why that case is ruled out, isn't it? So we have these 5 distinct scores possible here. So let's say lowest score is 22. Then we have a 23. Then we have a 24. Then we have a 25 and then we have a 27, right? Now, as per the question, his average was not more than 40. And in how many matches has he scored less than 40? So his average was not more than 40. Does that information is of any importance to me here? Let's see. In 25 matches, if his average was not was more than 40, so 25 into 40 is how much? Can I say 1000 runs? And because if I want the average to be more than 40, so let me add an extra run. So can I say across all 25 matches, he should score 1001 runs, right? He should score a 1001 run, right? That is what his score should be, or greater than that. Then only his average will be more than 40, right? Now, can I say in the bottom 5 matches? In the bottom 5 matches, he has scored less than 40 runs, right? Now, after that, can I say, like I've assumed the last question, match 1 being the highest score, match 2 second highest, match 3 and match 4 here and match 5 here, right? So we have assumed like here, this assumption that we took here, right? Same assumption, I'll work on that again. So I can say match number 20. What is his least possible score? Can I say after 27 I can have a 28 here, right? Then match number 21. Can I say I can have a 29 runs score because he has to score distinct? And why am I increasing only by a gap of 1? Because I want to maximize the number of scores which are less than 40 here. I'm trying to find the maximum value, isn't it? So again, if I increase this by 130, so till where can I go? Can I say I can go up to 39 here, right? Maximum I can go up to 39, right? By increasing 1 by 1. So if I can go up to 39, so can I say from 27 if I'm going to 39, so can I say these are 12 more scores? 27 plus 12 is 39. So these are 12 more scores. So 12 scores are these, and these bottom 5 are also less than 40, right? So total of in 17 matches, I can say he can make a run of less than 40. So answer should be definitely option number D, that is 17 here, right? So I hope you guys could follow. You have to understand that, you have to work around the average, right? You have to work around the average here. This is something that you need to understand, and you need to retain this as a learning from this particular set here. All right, let's try question number 3. If his lowest 5 scores added up to 121, then his 6th highest score was at least. Now, what is his 6th highest score? That is something that I'm supposed to figure out, right? Now, we just now saw that if the lowest 5 score added up to 121, so my scores were 22, right? Then we had a 23, then we had a 24, and then we had a 26, and then we had a 27, right? So let's say this is my match number 25, this is match number 24, this is match number 23, this is match number 22, and this is match number 21, right? Now, 6th highest score, that will be happening in the match number 6, yes or no? My 6th highest score should be happening in the match number 6 here, right? So that should be in the match number 6. Whatever is the score in match number 6, that will be the 6th highest score as per my initial assumption of question number 1. So right now I'm at 27, right? Right now I'm at 27, and from 21 to 6, I have 15 more matches, right? I have 15 more matches, right? And because I'm trying to minimize, right? I want to know the minimum possible score, right? The 6th highest score was at least, isn't it? I want the minimum possible score. So if I put at 28, I'll try to increase by the least possible value because all the scores have to be distant. So if I go from 28, then 29, then 30, then 31, and so on and so forth. So can I say I need 15 scores here? I need 15 scores here because from match 6 to match 20, there are exactly 15 matches. So if I'm increasing by 1 15 times, so from 27, if I add 15, I'll reach to, can I say, score of 42, right? So can I say that is the least possible score of match 6, right? Because maximum it can be anything. because I do not know how many runs he has scored across all the 25 matches. So this could be anything. I can put a 120 here, I can put a 130 here. Anything is possible, right? But then what is the least possible? That I can figure out. Why? Because if I want to minimize this score, then I'll only increase by one run at a time in each of these further matches. So if I'm trying to minimize, if I increase by one in every match, and I have 15 matches here, so from 27, if I add 1 15 times, I reach to a score of 42. So the required answer for this question should be definitely option number B, that is 42 here. Alright. Let's move to question number 4 now. If it is known that he made 2 centuries, that is a score of 100 or more, his lowest score was at most. Now I want to maximize the lowest score. Again, it's easy, right? Now, if we have seen in the first question that whenever you're trying to maximize a score, you will try to keep these scores as close as possible, right? So match 1 and match 2. In 2 matches, he has scored a century, that is 100 or more, right? So let's say if he has scored 100 run in both the matches, okay? So let's say 100 and 101, because he has to score distinct scores in both the matches. So I'll say 101 and 100, right? Now match 3, match 4 and match 5, right? Now match 3, match 4 and match 5. I'll not take any further higher score. I'll tell you why. I'll explain why I'm not taking 105 or 110. 110 I'll explain you. Just hold on. So 100, 1 and 100, right? We know that the top 5 scores were 337. Their sum was 337, isn't it? So out of 337, if I remove the 2 centuries, that is 201. So can I say I'll be left with 7 minus 1, that is 6, and 3 and 136 runs, right? Now in these 3 matches, this person is scoring 136 runs, right? In the match number 3, 4 and 5, right? So if he's scoring 136, let's divide this by 3. Let's find the average here. So I can say 3 4s is 12, 1 16 and 16. So 3 5s is so 45 point something. So let's take numbers around 45. If I consider 44, 45 and 46, what is the sum here? 120, 126, 131, 135, right? But I want a 136, so I'll convert this 46 into 47. So I can say 44, 45 and 47. These 3 numbers definitely add up to 137 here, right? So 136, sorry, my bad. These 3 numbers definitely add up to 136, isn't it? Let me check. 7, 5, 12 and 4, 16. Yes. So 120 and 16 is 136. Alright. So let's say these are the scores in the next 3 matches. Now why have I taken these scores? Because I'm trying to maximize his lowest score, isn't it? Now suppose, for example, let's say if I would have taken this as 50, right? And then if I would have taken this as 50, so let's say this would have become 42 in that case, right? Or maybe I'll make this 44 in that case, right? And I'll make this as, let's say, maybe 42 here, right? Now in that case, what will happen? Just understand here. In the white case, the score of match 6 is gonna be 43, right? And in the yellow case, the score of match 6 is gonna be 41. Now if I keep on decreasing by 1 and 1 both these scores, so can I say the value here will definitely be greater than the value here? Why? Because this is decreasing from 43 1 by 1, right? And this is coming down from 41 1 by 1. So this value will be higher, isn't it? And we are trying to maximize this. We are trying to maximize the lowest score, that is the score in match number 25. I want it to be the maximum, right? So I'll try to maximize the value in match number 6 as well, because if this is maximized, then automatically my this will also be maximized, right? So that is the reason why I am taking the numbers as close as possible. And for that same reason, I have taken 100 and 101, because I want to distribute the scores equally as close as possible among these matches here, right? So I hope you guys are, able to relate to what is happening in this set, right? I hope that you guys retain this and it helps you in the upcoming sets, where if you get a similar set of this type, then you should be able to crack it, right? Now if I start from 44 here, right? So from match number 5 till match number 20, can I say there are exactly 20 more matches, right? There are exactly 20 more matches. If I remove the first 5 matches, then there are exactly 20 more matches. Obviously I'm not gonna do that 43, then okay 42, because all the scores have to be distinct. So I'll decrease 1 by 1, 41, 40. I'll not decrease by more, because I'm trying to again maximize the score, right? Because suppose if I reach here at 28, right, and if I make it 26, then this will become 25, highest possible. But if I keep this as 28 and then this as 27, so this will become 26 in that case, right? So I'll only decrease by 1, only by 1. And that is also because I'm doing, why? Because I want to have a distinct score in each of the matches. So I'm not gonna write everything 1 by 1. Will I do that? That is so senseless, right? Writing one by one, okay, match 6 43, match 7 42, match 8 41, match 9 40, match 10 39. No, we have 20 more matches, right? And we have to decrease one how many times? Can I say exactly 20 times? If I count here, there are 20 matches and I have to decrease one 20 times. I'm sitting at a score of 44 in match number 5. So if I decrease 44 by 20, my score in match number 25 will be nothing but, I would say, 24. So that is the highest possible score in match number 25. So that is my required answer, which is option number B here, right? So the highest possible score in match number 25, that is his lowest score. Basically his lowest score is in match number 25 and I was trying to maximize it. So I'm saying the highest possible score in match number 25 is nothing but 24 here. So that should be my required answer. Alright, let's move to the last question of this set here. If it was known that the total number of runs he had scored was the maximum possible, alright, which of the following could have been the highest score he has made, right? Now, if I want to have the maximum possible he has scored, right? And we know that his scores from match 1 up to match number 25, right? There are 25 matches that he has played, right? From match number 1 up to match number 25, the scores are all distinct, right? And if I want to have the maximum possible score, so can I say that I would try to maximize the score in match number 6? Right, whatever is the score in match number 6, after that I'll keep on decreasing that score by exactly by one value, right? -1. In that case only the scores will be maximized in totality, right? So if I know that I have to maximize the score in match number 6, so in question number 1, when we solved question number 1, we saw that there were two cases. The average was around 67. So we saw two cases for the first 5 matches. That was 65, 66, 67. And then we had a 69 and a 70, right? That was one of these scores, right? One set of values. Other was 65, 66, 67, 68 and 71. So that was the other set of values, right? In both of these cases, whether I'm taking a 69 and a 70 here or whether I'm taking a 68 and a 71 here, can I say in both the cases, the match number 6 score will become nothing but 64, which is the maximum possible value, right? And if this is maximum, then automatically all the scores below this will be maximum scores because I'll decrease them by exactly 1, right? If your match 5 score is not maximum, then all the other scores will be minimized. And match 5 scores depends on match 4, match 4 depends on match 3, match 3 depends on match 2, and match 2 depends on match 1. Why? Because I'll try to keep the gap as least as possible so that I can get more higher values in the range of match 1 to from match 1 up to match number 25. I'll try to keep as high values as I want. I'll not want the graph to be skewed somewhere, right? For example, if you start with a 200 here, so automatically, you know, these values will be very less, right? You're having a 1 to 100 and few smaller numbers, let's say 10, 20, 30, just taking a random value, right? Just taking a random example here, 10, 20, 30 and so on and so forth, right? Having a 200 and then very small values, will that sum be higher or will the sum be higher when all the numbers are in the range of, let's say, 50 to 70? Let's say all the numbers are very close possible and there are all high values. Obviously in this case the sum will be higher, right? Some of the numbers is maximum when they are as close as possible, isn't it? So I'll try to keep the numbers as close as possible. Only then this sum will be maximized. So I'll just remove this just to do not have any confusion here. So what I'm trying to say here is that if you want the total score, the total number of runs to which he made was maximum possible, in that case match 6 score should be maximum. That can only be maximum when match 5 is 65, right? And this is 65, so we have two cases for match 1. The match 1, the highest score can be either 70 or 71, right? But the question is asking which of the following could have been the possible score. So it could have been, so 71 is a possibility. So I can say my answer should be definitely option number B here. Alright. So with this we come to the end of this beautiful set here. I hope you guys could follow everything. Let's meet in the next video where I'll be coming up with another challenging set for you guys. Till then, keep learning, keep working hard. CAT is just 29 days away. So don't lose your hope, work hard, give mock tests, revise as much as you can. And I hope everybody does well in the CAT this year. Alright, thank you very much.